Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany and this is my channel all about cross stitch. Please like and subscribe down below and leave a comment for me. That'll help throw this video out to other people that will like this, and you will get notified every time I upload a video. Cam thinks I'm talking to her, so we have our co-host Miss Cam. Yes we do. And I bought a microphone, so hopefully you guys will get better audio now and less background noise. So we will see. Let me know. Well, I guess I'll find out whenever I go to edit this video. Okay, Cam, I see you. I'm recording this on the 30th of April, and I tried recording this morning. However, I have Vincent, and he has been I don't want to say a nightmare, but he has been testing boundaries today. So he's actually upstairs in my room right now taking a nap, and I had to lay down in the bed with him to get him to stay in the bed so he will fall asleep. And I had to take my glasses off, and then he finally fell asleep, and I left the room without my glasses. So I don't have my glasses on. So that's why I don't have my glasses on, but I can still see. So it'll be fine. We're going to do like I usually do, which is whips, any haul I have, and then life update. Excuse me. So that way, if you don't want to hear about the life update, you don't have to, and it doesn't bother me one bit if you don't take offense to it. You watch what you want to watch. That's the whole point of watching YouTube channels. If you don't want to watch it, you don't watch it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my whips, and we're going to go through those. And there's two new starts, which one I told you last month that as soon as everything came in, I was going to start. So you guys saw that one. But one was an unexpected start. Okay, so this is Bella Filipina, the Phoenix Queen. It is, where am I? Right there. Wow. I guess I really do need my glasses because I was like looking at this and I thought for some reason that April said May and it didn't click in my brain. But anyways, so this is Bella Filipina, the Phoenix Queen. This is what it will look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where it is now. So she is stitched on 28 count, hand dyed by me. And no, I'm not pulling it closer. That's okay. I can just do this. So she was started on March 21st of 2023. And this is how far I've gotten. I put 747 stitches in her. Anytime you see me look this way, it's because all my notes are sitting over here beside me. But so she is stitched 2 over 2, except for her skin is done 1 over 1. And that's how far I got. Only 747 stitches. But I think I told you guys about, like, I'm having neck issues. So, I don't know. It just, everything hurts. So, I've started going to physical therapy, and they've told me, try not to stitch as much. And I'm just like, what? You're taking away my thing I use to relax and, like, calm my brain. All right, next one. This is The Spirit of Christmas by Lavender and Lace. And this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where it is now. Oh, I guess I need to move that. See, Abby's going through physical therapy too right now. So when our appointments can't always line up at the same time, even though we go to the same place. So when I'm just down there and she's, it's just her appointment, and my appointment is usually like earlier on in the day because I can go down earlier versus where she has to go later in the day because she has school So if it's just in her appointment, this is what I've been bringing with me to work on. But anyway, so the Spirit of Christmas, it got 391 stitches. I started this January 27th of this year, and it's 28 count, stitched 2 over 2, except for the skin was done 1 over 1. And all of these little beads here, those are beads. This is actually all supposed to be done in Kernick. But I stuck beads on it instead because I bead with invisible floss, and they're little wee tiny ninja stitches all over the place. And I figured I'm not going to want to start a thread, stop a thread, start a thread, stop a thread. So I just used beads, and the beads I used were Mill Hill 2011, 2011, if I remember right. Pretty sure that's the one I used. But yeah, that's how far I got on him. It's pretty far. This one is going to my sister Christy. She saw me working on Mirabilia Winter White Santa, and she was like, I want that one. And I was like, this is one I'm actually keeping for myself. I refuse to give it away. So instead, I went searching for other Santa patterns, and this is the one that me and my sister Charlie picked out for her, because it's more of a traditional Santa. So that's where that one's going. Okay, this one, I already know what this one is. Let's get this out. I'm hoping with this microphone that these zippers, every time I zipper this, it's not real loud in you guys' ear. And if it is, I apologize. And if it is loud, I'll see if in the editing process I can make it not as loud. We will see. Okay, this is Mirabilia Maidens of the Season 1 and 2. But right now I've finished the upper half of winter, but because it's now in the spring season, I am only stitching when in that season is when I'm stitching that particular Maiden of the Season in. So being it's springtime, I'm stitching on the Spring Maiden. So this is what it'll look like when it's finished, and this is where you guys saw it last time, and this is where it is now. So this is Maidens of the Season 1. I got 938 stitches on it, which is funny because that was DMC 938 I ran out of and had to go out and buy more of. A lot of patterns use 938 for either deep shadows, but most of the time it's in like a lot of their hair. But anyways, so 938 stitches on this bugger, and it was started March. It was not started March 19th. Or was it? Yes, Maidens of the Season 1 was started March 19th of 2025. Because this one was started, this would be Maidens of the Season 2. This one was started December 10th of 2024. So, but yeah. So, and it is stitched on 32 count. And I was just doing more of this decorative border thing, I guess you want to call it. Trying to get it out of my way because it's a lot. It's not really confetti stitching. It's just, it's a lot of color changes in between there. But yeah, that is that one. I'm praying Vincent stays asleep for a while because he has just been, his little world is getting rocked a little bit. My little sister, his mom, is pregnant with her second child. So he's having an adjustment period of, I went with him yesterday to, she went and had her a sonogram yesterday. So, and her husband works on the oil rigs, so he's away. She didn't want to go by herself because she also had Vincent. So I was like entertaining Vincent. When she got the ultrasound done, we were in the room with her. But when she went to have the checks for everything else, we weren't in the room with her. I took him out to the lobby area and was playing with him out there. But I always kept on telling him, Vincent, look at your baby, you know, trying to get him excited for it. But he's struggling a little bit because, you know, he's not going to be the only child anymore. And, you know, some of us struggle with that. All right. This is the next one I worked on. This is Mirabilia Roses of Provence. Yes. This is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where it is now. So this one got 544 stitches. And I was stitching right here in these leaves. I started this one March 16th of 2024. And it's just stitched on 28 count. And it is done 2 over 2, except for the skin is done 1 over 1. I'm struggling with these patterns where I guess you know, I'm stuck in the leaves a lot, so it's a lot of starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, and moving your thread, and it's just kind of driving me a little bonkers. I guess with having my neck pain right now, like I just want to stick my needle in and just go until the thread is gone, and I just want to do large swaths of one color right now. So, but Mirror May is coming up next month. And I want to try and get this video edited and uploaded today on April 30th. And then I want a video to come out tomorrow with like a Mirabilia parade, go through all my projects that are kitted up and ready to start, go through all the ones that I've already started, and then ones I just have patterns for, and show you guys all of that, being it is Mirror May. And then coming up with a plan on what I'm going to do for Mirror May. All right. Guess what? One pattern that I stitched on is the whole way over there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get it. All right. This is Bella Filipina, Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile. And this is what it will look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where she is now. I got the whole way across here now and then started to go down. Now she is stitched on 28 count. Hand dyed, of course, by me. 2 over 2, except for the skin is done 1 over 1. And I started her April 27th of 2023. So I'm getting somewhere. I did say this is where you guys saw it last time, didn't I? I don't remember. But man, I don't know how I did all this without wearing my glasses beforehand, because I can barely see my TV and it's not that far away. That is ridiculous. But there she is. Isn't she gorgeous? I can't wait to finish, start going down the other direction and getting like a lot of this done. I'm so excited to see her finished. So ready for her. This one is there's so many metallics. Like, look at all those. Most of that is metallic stitching. Like, most of that's Krennic, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to finish her. That's going to be one that I'm probably going to have to hide somewhere in my house that people can't see, because I'm not going to want to give her away. Okay. Temperature stitching. You are not temperature. But I can't think of which one oh, yes, I know which one this is. It took me a minute. Oh my gosh, what is that? I don't know what that is. Of course, I wear a white shirt and I get something on it. Messy Marvin That's me. Don't know why I picked out a white shirt anyways. It should be against the law for me. Okay, this one is Mirabilia, Pretty in Pink. This is what she would look like when she is finished. And this is where you guys saw her last time. And this is where she is now. She is stitched on 28 count, hand dyed by me. And you guys probably can't see any of it. Well, maybe a little. I don't know if you guys can see that it's on opalescent fabric. But this one got 1,726 stitches. And I forgot to say that Cleopatra got 2,131 stitches. And I think I said Spirit of Christmas got 391. I know I said that one. And Roses of Provence got 544 stitches. Not very many this month, but enough that you can see. This one I was stitching in here. I know, I think I was stitching this at the beginning of the month. I can tell because it has a higher stitch count. But there it is. Isn't she gorgeous? But she is stitched 2 over 2, except for the skin is done 1 over 1. Let me see if I can get you guys real up close in there. So you can see all that stitching. Maybe you can see it glitter a little bit. I don't know, because when I look at my, like I think I've told you guys it before, I cast my phone up to my TV screen so that way I can make sure I'm always in frame. And a lot of times, like, I can see it on my TV. I can see the glitter some on my TV while I'm recording the video. But then whenever I go in and I edit the video and then render the video and then upload it to YouTube, most of the time you can't see it then. So I don't know if you can see it or not. Hopefully you can, because it looks really pretty. That is that one. I didn't even count how many I stitched this month. Oh, yep, this is a new start. This is, I just call it the B because everything is written in Ukrainian or whatever they speak over there. It's a Ukrainian designer, and I can't pronounce anything because it's not translated into English. But this has a bunch of black work here. We got specialty stitches here. These are all specialty stitches. Specialty stitches. More specialty stitches in there. Let's see if hopefully I can get you guys close enough. This is regular cross stitch, and then in the center, these guys here, those are specialty stitches. These are all specialty stitches in here, along with all this is specialty stitches, and then specialty stitches down there. And listen, I have never done specialty stitches. I was never taught how to do them. So I was doing them on my own and following instructions very slowly and very carefully. And let me tell you what, if you are somebody who is afraid to do specialty stitches, don't be. This wasn't that big of a deal. I'm trying to figure out why I just have regular magnets on there instead of a needle monitor, but I do. It really wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm looking here. See, these were more specialty stitches along here, this little border thing. Those were more specialty stitches. But there's just specialty stitches everywhere. The instructions for this is, I mean, I thought they were easy enough that I could follow. So, but this is, I believe this is all the taller it is, if I remember right. But yeah, I'm like over halfway done with this already. But I just couldn't put it down. And for like actual cross stitches, there were 2,766 on this guy. And it started at April 6th of this year and is done on 32 count. And the regular cross stitch is done 2 over 2. And then specialty stitches are whatever they call for. And I didn't count any of the specialty stitches. But isn't it beautiful? I love it. And of course, I hand dyed this fabric myself. And it's sort of like a, I don't know if it's really translating on screen or anything, but it's sort of like a yellow brown like a honey brown, and not like, it's not a dark brown or anything. But I think it is gorgeous, and I absolutely love this. And I have an owl pattern too. I don't know, I can't remember if I have specialty stitches in it or not, but I had to start this. As soon as everything came in, I had to start it. And I did. But I have one more new start. And I just snagged that fabric, and I'm going to cry. Get in there. One more new start. Okay. It is Bella Filipina's 10th anniversary. And I couldn't help myself. When I saw it, Lady and Thea by Bella Filipina, she was gorgeous. I had to have her. I did not buy any of the skin conversions or dress conversions or hair conversions or anything like that. I just bought the regular. I just bought it with the PDF because I was impatient and I wanted to start it now, and there was no way I was going to wait. But it's usually like 2 weeks before I think it gets on 1, 2, 3 stitch, so it might be up there now, or it will be shortly. But I couldn't wait. But this is what she will look like when she is finished. And this is where I got to. Now the funny part is that whenever I saw this, I downloaded, I bought it, and yes, the pattern is expensive. And I almost didn't buy it because of that. But then I looked at the stitch size. It's like 2 patterns in one. So his normal size, like it's double the size of what his normal patterns are. So like in order for me to like even fit her fully in frame, like I would have to bring her the whole way back here, this way for me, so they could see. So like this is how big her fabric piece is. And like she is huge. Now, I ordered all the water lilies and I think Krennic. Oh, I can't remember. No, I ordered the water lilies, and I don't think I could get the Krennic because it was out of stock. So instead, I bought this. What is this? It's Glisten Gloss Rainbow Blending Thread, and it's just sort of like a really thin pink blending thread. And I was like, the Krennic blending thread that they use, it's more like pearlescent pink, but I was like, this will work just fine. And then I ordered the Rainbow Gallery equivalent for the other color. And boy, the thread for this takes up 2 rings. Look at this. Hold on. Okay, I got too much stuff in my hand. Put all this in here. There we go. Okay. Here are the water lilies that this thing takes. Look how pretty they are. My son's over there sleeping. But these are the water lilies. These 3. Aren't they beautiful? Now, here's one. It uses two. It needs 2 rings for floss. And it's such pretty colors. So this one was taking a while. So anyways, back to my story. What I was saying. I get in there. So I ordered this. And I couldn't wait to start her for everything to come in. So I just took off. And whatever colors I had, I just started doing all this. And I did. And then once the stuff that I had needed to come in, I started adding it, going back through what I already did. So I started this one April 13th of 2025, and it is done on 32 count, done 2 over 2, except for the skin is done 1 over 1, like usual. But isn't it gorgeous so far? And this fabric is it's very softly dyed. It's got purples and pinks and blues and a little bit of green in there. Just very, 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 very pale. Like it's barely there. So much barely there that I was like, oh no, are we going to be able to, like, this is like a little gazebo back there. And I was like, oh no, are we going to be able to see the gazebo? Like, is it going to blend in? But it stands out enough, and it's meant to be in the background. And when you look at things from a distance, I know this because of painting and how you create perspective and stuff. But if you ever get a chance to look at things from multiple different distances, like I said, I live in the valley of the Appalachian Mountains. So I can go hike up a mountain if I want to, which we just call them hills because, that's where we live. But if I want to, I can even drive up on top of a hill and I can look over and I can see pretty gosh darn far. And whenever you do that, if you look at things at the farthest away from you, what we would call atmospheric influences in with the colors. So like it'll tend to look it'll have more of like a bluish hue to it than things that are closer to you. You'll have the true color to it. And it's because you're seeing it through a distance, and that's through the distance you get more of the atmospheric color that blends in from a distance. So if you ever like are painting something and you need to make it look farther away, you want to make the color more with an influence of like a blue hue to it, or like a bluish purplish tint to it, so that way to push it back farther in the distance. And then you also don't add a bunch of light and dark to add depth to it, because it's in the distance. You're going to get a blend of all the colors together. You're not going to see the big deep detail of a bright green leaf mixed with a deep dark leaf that's in shadow. So you're not going to see that. But it shows up just enough that I feel like you're going to be able to see it, but it also makes it push it back into the background. So, and it's good. And you can clearly see the dress just fine. So I'm not worried about it. But I was nervous there for a minute because I didn't want the gazebo to disappear, because it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at it. There's lots and lots of back stitching in that sucker, but it looks stunning. Dexter's heading up the stairs. Poor little old guy. Mr. Vincent hasn't been very kind to him today. He will not leave him alone. All right, one last thing to show you. This is Bella Filipina Blackwater Siren Sow. You guys have seen me stitch on this since October 31st of last year, of 2024. So it is officially the end of the pattern, and I finished it. I did it all. So she is stitched on 32 count, done 2/2, except for all of the skin is done 1/1. And I finished it April 24th of 2025. Is when I put the last stitches in. So there she is, completely finished. I finished it. Ah! Here, why don't we do this way? Here we go. But I did. I finished it. Can you believe it? Of course you can. I'm always finishing crap, especially these giant monsters. But absolutely gorgeous. I had a really fun time, and the sow was the same price as that other pattern as Lady Anthea, which a lot of people complain about. But we're not just paying for the pattern, we're also paying for the artist to sit down and create these things. And if I was going to make you a painting of this size, you're gonna pay me probably like $300 to $400 to make you a painting this size. And to get a piece of art for what, like $48, I think it was. I think those two were. Like, that's pretty good. You got to think it as yes, it's just a pattern to us, but we're also paying for the artwork. So if you wanted to have a painting like this hung up in your house, like you're going to pay the money for it. But look how beautiful they are. And sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but some people were upset with the price. And as an artist myself and how much I charge for my other work that I do, like this doesn't bother me. But I got the treasures put in the treasure chest. Let me see if I can get you up close. So you can see the treasures in the treasure chest. And oh yeah, this is opalescent fabric too, but I don't know if you can really see it. But there are all the sirens nice and up close. And there it is. Finished. I know what it is. Vincent moved this on me. So I'm pulling the other direction instead of just holding it up. But there's the sirens. They are done. Now, roll this back up because it's already ironed and everything, and I am not, well, it's already steamed because I use the invisible thread, so I can't really iron it, but I'll like use a steamer and hold it up nice and flat and essentially steam out any wrinkles. I'll put that up there. Okay, that was the last one of those to show you. Now it's time to go into temperature stitching. I'm going to take a drink first because the medication they have me on, trying to help me get rid of all this neck pain, makes my mouth feel like the Sahara Desert. And let me tell you what, I'm so sick and tired of feeling like I have sandpaper in my mouth. And I was like trying to describe it to my husband. I was like, you know how you use like rubber cement in school? And he's like, yeah. I was like, that's what it feels like I have in my mouth right now. Like, I don't have that taste. And I mean, I've never ate it, so I don't know what it tastes like. But like, that's what I mean. Like, it's just like thick goop. It's like trying to talk with porridge in your mouth or something. But now we're going to go into temperature stitching. And here's what happened. So I have appointments for myself with physical therapy I'm going to appointments with Grandma Joanne. So that's blood work, chemo treatments, and iron infusions for her. Abby, it's going to regular knee doctor appointments and physical therapy. For me, it's going back and forth for my doctor and physical therapy. I'm watching Vincent all at the same gosh darn time. During the weekends, I am, as long as it's sunny out, I'm with Grandma Joanne and doing everything I can to get her outside exactly the way she wants it and how it used to be when she used to do it all on her own. So I've been running around like a mad woman, and I didn't get to all of my temperature stitching pieces, and I'm not going to. And I'm not going to harp on myself for not getting to, what is it, 1, 2, 3 of the projects. I just didn't have time to get to them. What's wrong, Dex? Uh-oh, I think Abby's coming in. And Kim, you farted. Pew. That's not very ladylike, you tinky. You stinky girl. Man. That new food that she's eating right now is not the best. I'm really upset. I'd love to know how in the heck I got what on my shirt. But so I didn't get to 3 of them. I just didn't get to. And the Disney piece, I only completed an hour of the work when I needed to actually do 2 hours of it. But I'm not going to beat myself up over it because I got to what I could get to. And I'm not going to be so strict on myself that I'm like disappointed in myself or something. These are projects that I love, but I don't touch them as often as I feel like I need to get them completed. So as long as I'm doing most of it, then I'm not going to beat myself up over it if I don't do every single one. This is the first month that I didn't mean it, but I have got a lot of things going on. So it is what it is. And I don't think you should beat yourself up over a goal that you made for yourself. I think that's silly. Okay, so this is the Clouds Factory Epic Princess Sow, is I believe what they call it. But I call it my Epic Disney Sow because I'm putting all of my kids and I's favorite Disney movies on here. And I am currently working. This is where you guys saw it last time. This is where it is now. Oh, I need to turn this page. What am I doing? Right there. I'm currently working on Dumbo here. This is 18 count, hand dyed by me, stitched 2 over 1. And Dumbo got a whole 60 stitches. Literally in 1 hour, I got 60 stitches. And that's just because I'm having neck pain. And I was told that I need to not do it as often. Like it's not too bad right now. But we're getting there. It is, I have good days and I have bad days. And I've just been told that I need to set the stitching down and not stitch so much. So I'm somewhat being good. Okay. I'm not perfect, but I'm doing better. I'm pretty sure that yep, Abby's home. So I'm going to pause this for a second. Well, okay. Abby's home now. And the dogs aren't going nuts. All right. The next one I have is a Riolis kit. It is called Yorkshire Terrier. It was called one time this month, so it got 30 minutes. And I did it, and I completed 98 stitches on it. And this is where I got. I'm not going to bother showing you, this is where you saw it last time, because all I was doing was putting stitches right here. That's it. I was adding its body. And that's all I did. And it's stitched on 14 count. Yep. 14 count. And then these have all different directions for, some of it's half cross, some of it's full cross, some of it's 2 strands, some of it's 3 strands. So whatever the pattern calls for is what's being stitched on it. All right. This one will be by Soda Stitch. This is Pinup Girls. Yep. And this one was called for, how many times was Pinup Girls called? It was called 3 times. And then I did complete it completely. And I got 98 stitches on Yorkshire Terrier. I got 290 stitches on this one. And this is what it'll look like when it's finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where I got to now. So that the next girl is almost complete. I got a few more in her hair. And I left her eyes out on purpose because I think she looks soulless and like she's going to suck your soul right out. And I was like, I'm leaving her that way. I think it'll probably be the last thing I finish on her will be her eyeballs. Just because, you know, redheads, they suck your soul out. You know, that, whatever, what is that called? That, myth? That is, you know, whatever. I can't think of what it's called right now. But, yep. So, almost finished with that girl. This one is 32 count, right? Yeah. And I started it August 16th of 2024. 32 count, 2 over 2. It's all stitched 2 over 2, including skin, because I'm not doing smaller ones on that one. All right, next one. This one is Pokemon Generation 2, and this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And I'm not going to bother showing you this is where you saw it last time picture, because all I did was more outlines of the Pokemon, so there's just one more to go, and that line will be finished. And then I'm trying to decide if I continue moving down and get all the outlines done and then fill it all in or what. But this is done by Boris Designings. You can find it on Etsy. And it's, I believe, 28 count. Am I right? Let me look. Yep, 28 count stitched 1 over 1. So very little wee tiny stitches. But that's all these guys in there. So that's where I did this one. And it got 62 stitches and was called One Time for this month. Oh, 2 more. And I keep leaning back and snagging my hair. Okay, this one is by Dimensions. And it is Indian Peacock. It is stitched on 14 count natural Aida. This is what it'll look like when it's finished. And this is where it is now. And if I remember right, I finished all the stitching in this section completely. And then I've just been back stitching this section. And I put 290 stitches in it. How many times is it called for? It was called for 3 times. So a lot of back stitching has been going into this bugger. And I'm getting there. I don't know if I said in here is where you guys saw it last time. But it was just that section that I was working on. Not that big of a deal. And, alright, the last one. This is Pay Beyond for These Times by Logged On Samplers. This is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. This was called for 3 times. And I was working right here in working on this motif. I put in 365 stitches. So I got somewhere. I'll bring it up closer here. Yeah. So I was getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. But I was getting there. And this is done 25 count, 1 over 1. Full cross. And it's 109 Picasso Painter's threads. Love this thread. Love it. But there it is. I mean, I'm almost done with this motif over here. If I remember right, I think I am. Like, all I got to do is, like, start stitching the pot. Like, on this side, if I remember right. Because they're not the exact same, but I think that's what's getting ready to happen. But I can't remember right now. But that is that. So that is all the stitching I did. If you don't want to see haul, thank you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And if you want to see what I bought this month, stick around. Okay. I'll put those over there. So, I don't know. Well, we know me and my fancy ladies. I love fancy ladies. Well, my mother-in-law made a comment that she likes like indigenous artwork for North American indigenous people. And I got what is it? I believe it's Butternut Road. Yeah. Butternut Road, which is the same designer as Lavender and Lace. Okay. And there are 2 patterns done by her that are indigenous, of indigenous people that I liked. And then I found a book by Joan Elliott that's called Native American Cross Stitch. And it has, let me see if I can find the pictures of them. Has this one in it, which is Indian Maiden. And then the very back of it, it has Indian Warrior in it. And I think those are the ones that I'm going to stitch for my mother-in-law because I really like Butternut Rose. What is it? Spirit Dancer? Hold on, let me look. Earth Dancer and Spirit Dancer. So I think I'll stitch her the ones out of this book. I think I paid like $3 for this book. If I remember right, I think it was like $3.99. It was used. It's in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with it. And it originally retailed for $25. And there's a bunch of other designs in here too. Like here's one. I'm just trying to, I don't want to show any patterns, so I'm trying to find, here's one. Here's one. I don't want to show any patterns. I have to do it this way. Let me use this. There we go. Here's one. Here's another one in there. I guess, you know, I didn't really read any of these to you. This one says, now you will feel no pain, for each of you will be... I don't have my glasses on. You know what? I'm not going to try and read them to you because I don't have my glasses on and I can't see, and I'm not going upstairs to wake Vincent up to get it. I'm just trying to... Okay, there we go. There's 2 different patterns there. There's another pattern there. Looks like a burst sampler. Excuse me. Where's the next one? And there's some more. An alphabet. There's 3 more there. I mean, there's a lot in here. Here's some more. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's some more. Ideas you can do with those. Here's some more. I think we're getting close to the end here. Yep, and then there's the last one that's in there. So that is everything that's in this book, but I think she's getting this one. But as I was searching for some of these patterns, I ended up buying a bunch of, what is there? There's Lavender and Lace, Butternut Road. I think that's it. I don't think I got any of the, yeah. But a lot of these were sold in lots, and it would be like one particular one that I really wanted, but I had to buy it in a lot because they wouldn't sell it separately, which was no big deal. I mean, I still liked all the other patterns, so I'll probably stitch them anyways. But this one is Nantucket Rose by Lavender and Lace. There is that one. This one is Morning Song by Lavender and Lace. I think this one is absolutely gorgeous. This is Lady Claire. Lavender and Lace. I have not seen anybody stitch this one. And when I saw her, I just went ahead and bought her. But this is Dance of the Rose. Dance of the Roses. And I think she's gorgeous. This is by Lavender and Lace as well, so I'm going to stitch that one. This one is ID Wed by Lavender and Lace. That's definitely like an 80s wedding dress. All big and poofy. This one is The Bride by Lavender and Lace. This one is Little Wings, and I absolutely love this. Like this got a little birdhouse in it, okay? And I might leave out the birdhouse and stuff and just do the mom and the girl. You could just do the mom. You could just do the girl in there. There's so many options. This one is Winter Rose, Lavender and Lace. And one last one by Lavender and Lace. What is this? Violet, Pansy, and Roses. And then these two are from Butternut Road. This one is Spirit Dancer. And this one is Earth Dancer. Now, these require Ultra Suede by Rainbow Gallery, but that is no longer made anymore. But these are all for Spirit Dancer. But what I was able to find that is pretty similar, it's called Petite Very Velvet. And it's very, very, very similar. It just doesn't have as soft. Like, it's a little fuzzier than the suede looks. But, you know, they don't make the other stuff anymore. So I think this will work. It's just going to have to work. But Spirit Dancer requires 3. And if you want to use this, just look up Rainbow Gallery Petite Very Velvet. And for Spirit Dancer, it called for 3 cards of white Ultra Suede. So I just got 3 cards of V602 because it is their white shade in this type of specialty thread. So I got 3 of those in that one. And then, so that's Spirit Dancer. Okay. Now, this one, Earth Dancer, it requires 3 different specialty threads. Well, it requires 3 of the Ultra Suede and then 1 of Bravo multicolored threads. And it says you're just supposed to cut off the tan in this and don't use the tan. So I was able to hunt down the internet and find this sucker. But I found it. And then, again, they don't make the Ultra Suede anymore. So, again, I used the Petite Very Velvet by Rainbow Gallery. And she calls for 2 cards of, I believe it was Ecru. So, if you want to use the same kinds, this is a pretty good substitute because, again, it's a thicker thread like you need with the Ultra Suede. And it looks very similar. Like I said, it's a little more fuzzy. But if you want to use the same ones that I'm using, you can look up Rainbow Gallery Petite Very Velvet, and then for number U02, I'm switching it out for V603, which will be this color. And then the other one is Ultra Suede numbers U82, which was a navy blue, and in the very petite berry velvet, V630 is their navy color. So if you want to stitch that pattern, but you can't get a hold of those threads, those I think these are pretty good substitutes for those. So those are those. And then I also bought Spring Topiary Garden by Mirabilia. I love this pattern. I think it's gorgeous. I don't think their dresses are stitched in at all. I bought Blossom Goddess by Mirabilia. And I purchased Mirabilia Waiting for Ships. This is out of print. And Mirabilia Damask Roses, which I believe this one's also out of print. So that is everything I bought. And if you were only here for Cam, you fluffed it enough, man. If you were only here for the cross-stitching stuff and don't want to hear the life update things, thanks for stopping by and watching. And don't forget to subscribe down below. Comment down below. I'd love to hear like more things, like things I can do better, more things you guys want to see and stuff like that. And I'll see you on the next video. For those of you that are sticking around to listen to me blabber on about things that have been happening this month, get ready. And I'm making a mess over here. All right. So, it's been a busy month. Running around with Grandma Joanne. And then, since December, I've been having this really bad pain in my neck. And it starts right at the base of my head. Right at the base of my skull. The very, very base of the skull. And then it shoots down my spine until it hits about right here on my shoulder. And it comes out, and sometimes it'll shoot out here across my shoulder, and sometimes it'll come down here and like land in my collarbone, and that hurts like a crazy sucker. And the last time it did that, I think it was in end of February. I was like, all right, I have tried everything I can at home to get this to go away. It's not going away. Like something needs to be done. So I went and called my doctor. The first appointment they had available was April 1st. So I went to my doctor on, was it April 1st? No, April 4th. Why do I keep thinking it was the 1st? I don't know why. But April 1st, I saw my doctor, and they're like, it could be a pinched nerve, it could be this, could be that. But before my insurance will pay for anything, you have to go down to physical therapy. And I went down to the same physical therapist that Abby sees. I love it there. And they're like, yeah, your trapezius muscle is so tight that it's like pulling, because they would push down and like here, and then I could turn my head, like I can do it right now, and I have no pain. None. I can turn any direction I want and I have no pain. But as soon as you release that, I get this far and it's hurting. I can't turn my head any farther. So the trapezius muscle is extremely tight. So it's causing everything to pull. So we're doing exercises like this and turning it until it hurts, but just not doing anything to strain it, and up and down, left and right, and then different exercises with my neck to try and get this muscle to finally relax and stop. And they put me on muscle relaxers, and I hate those. They put me on steroids, hate those. And I've taken all my steroids already. Didn't really make any of a difference, and still in quite a bit of pain. And then the muscle relaxers, I'm taking those like I'm supposed to, and I don't really see a difference. And then besides, like, I feel like my lips are like drier than dry. My mouth is dry pretty much nonstop. But hopefully, I mean, I've been going to physical therapy now for 2.5 weeks. Or 3 weeks. Something like that. But I really don't see much of a difference yet. But I'm hoping I will get there. And I was told that I have to calm down with my stitching. So I'm dealing with that. Lydia had her violin concert, well, orchestra concert. I'll insert a video here of that. And then we have been getting microburst on top of microburst on top of microburst, and it has been bad. The first one happened April 12th. We've lived in this house for quite a few years, and we are hooked up with the same electric grid as the hospital. So we usually have, like, if our power goes out before this month, the longest our power was ever out was maybe an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and a half. Because, again, with emergency situations, they need the hospital to have electricity. So we usually get our power back on before everybody else does. But on April 12th, we had a microburst come through here. And I mean, just ripped down trees, like roots and all, everything. And I don't remember what the wind speed was that it got up to at that point in time. But our power was out for 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours, which was insane for us. And thankfully, I have a ton of board games, and my kids like to read and things like that. So we were like doing board games and all kinds of crazy stuff to entertain ourselves until it got dark out. And then I looked at my husband, and I was like, we don't even have like lanterns or anything to use because our power is never out that long. We just usually, like, we could just use our cell phones and stuff for light, but it was out a lot longer. So he went and got us a couple like lanterns and flashlights and stuff like that because Lydia is terrified of the dark. And then on the 19th, right around, no, I guess we had some really bad storms last month too. But we like only lost power for like maybe an hour. But yeah, so we lost power that day. And then on April 19th, so the day before Easter, we had this storm come through with 80-mile-per-hour winds. I mean, yeah, we thought the first one with trees being down and everything else. I mean, like, my mother-in-law had a tree come down. It was her neighbor's tree come down and land on the power lines there. So we went down there to check her. And from our house to her house, like, I can walk there in 10 minutes. And when you're driving there, you're like, it's like a minute and a half, like 2 minutes of a drive, and you're there. And it might take you 2 minutes just because of this, the traffic light might take a while to stop, like, to get through. Like, that's going to be your longest portion of that entire trip. from our house to her house, there were 6 trees down on lines. That's not even counting the trees that we saw down that weren't hitting power lines. Just trees on lines. There were 6 of them. And that was going along the main road, let alone all the side roads and everything else. I can't imagine. But right above us near the hospital, there were 3 trees laying down on lines, and that we could just see from our porch, let alone, up the road where we can't see and everything else. Like, I mean, it was just a mess. And our power was out for almost a full 24 hours because of how bad the storm ravaged everybody everywhere. So like, we went, we ended up having to pull our generator out of our garage, which the only reason why we had a generator was because we tend to buy dilapidated homes and then we fix them, and we usually have to rewire everything. So there'll be no power there for a while. So you need a generator to, create power to be able to, use certain tools and things like that. So it's the only reason why we have a generator. And thank God we do, because it was about 11 o'clock at night. Me and the girls were playing Monopoly, so we were pretty well entertained, using a lantern to play Monopoly. We were having a blast. But it was about 11 o'clock at night, and my husband was like, we're getting water leakage out of the fridge. I'm like, go get the generator, hook the generator up, and at least then we'll have one outlet to charge like our cell phones and things like that, and one light to see with instead of using the lantern. And then we can plug the refrigerator in and keep the stuff in the refrigerator cold, because we literally went grocery shopping that morning and there was over 300 worth of groceries inside that refrigerator. I was like, I'm not losing that. So we did that. And then we just assumed, we'd wake up the next morning and have power, because we've never been without power. But we wake up the next day and still no power. And it's Easter. And my parents are calling me from their cell phone, do you have power? And I'm like, no. And they're like, we don't have power either. What are we going to do about Easter dinner? So we pack everything up. We call my little sister, because she lives in a couple towns away from us. She lives about 25 minutes away from us. And she has power. And we're like, cool. Easter dinner is now at your house. We're all packing our cars with the Easter food. And I'm packing up because I did the Easter egg hunt this year instead of making the Easter dinner. I'm like, we're taking over your house. Like, you don't have to cook or anything, but Easter dinner's at your house now. Everybody's traveling up to your house to where there's power. We're going to charge our phones and everything. And we got to her house. I'm like chucking the Easter eggs out and throwing them all over the yard. So that way, Lydia refused to do the Easter egg hunt, but Vincent did. So we did all that. And then, yeah, like it was insane. But other than that, like we had a good Easter. And then literally yesterday, they were calling for 2-inch size hail, possible tornadoes yet again. And like we are just getting pummeled with these crazy microbursts. And thankfully last night's storm, it literally lasted maybe 2 minutes of like really bad winds and rain. And I think just because like the weekend before that and the weekend before that, we've had such high wind microbursts that I think has knocked down most of the trees that are coming down. Like, so we didn't even lose power at all. So that was nice. I've got Grandma Joanne's patio completely set up and cleaned up. I got compost and cow manure spread in all of her flower beds, and mulch done in 2 beds. So got most of that stuff. Abby's seen her knee doctor. Everything's going good there. She's at 60% now for bending her knee. Hopefully she still can't, she's not allowed to bend her knee while she's walking yet because they're afraid it'll buckle on her. So when she's walking, she's got it locked so that way it's held her leg straight. So she's kind of got to like walk like she's got a peg leg. when she has to lock it in from sitting down with it bent, I always tell her to, better go turn on your 4-wheel drive so that way she can go, because they're afraid it's that her knee will buckle under her and stuff. So, but she's doing good with that. I mean, there's not much else to say besides I'm going to be an aunt again, and that's exciting. We don't know what she's having yet, but she'll find out here in a little while. She'll find out what she's having. So I'm excited to see what she's having, and I'm hoping it's I'm hoping it will be a girl because she has a son and she would like a daughter. But at the same time, both of my daughters are very calm and easygoing. My sons were wild and crazy, and I had to keep them from harming themselves left and right. And Vincent's kind of the same way, where you're like, oh, that'll hurt you. You can't do that. you got to keep your eye on them. So hopefully this time it'll be a girl, and it'll be a nice, calm little girl that's not as insane as her older brother. But we will see. But I think that's everything I have for you guys this week. So if you've hung out with me this long, thank you for staying for so long. And I'll see you guys next month. Bye.